Hey guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today we have an interview with a scholar from Norway. So Chris is a friend of mine who I've known for a number of years now, and he recently moved to Norway to begin his master's course on a fully funded program. So Chris today will be sharing with us his personal story in order to inspire those of you out there looking for similar opportunities. So he'll be telling us how he got the scholarship, the documents he submitted, um, the contact with professors, and every other thing about the course that might interest you. So sit back, take your pen and your paper, and take notes as we discuss scholarships in the beautiful country of Norway. Enjoy. Now we have our guest, Chris Wango, all the way from, what's the name of that city again in Norway? What's the name of the city you're based?
Trondheim.
Trondheim. Okay.
Trondheim.
Okay, Tondem. So all the way from Tondem in Norway, we have Chris Wango with us, or Chubike. So you would introduce yourself to us, your full names. I know you have several names. So tell us everything in full. Tell us everything in full and a bit of your background so my subscribers will get to know you. Yeah, go ahead, please.
Okay, thank you very much, Victor. My name is Chibukem Chrysogonus Wagu. I had my undergraduate degree from the University of Port Harcourt, Department of Mathematics and Statistics, where I finished with the first class degree, and I was awarded the best graduate student of the department at that time. I am currently about to begin my master's degree in Norwegian University of Science and Technology. I'm here to study industrial ecology.
Okay, that's nice. That's very straight to the point. And let's just go straight to the questions without any further delay. I believe those watching this video are curious about how you got your scholarship or funding, as you choose to call it. So where exactly did you find this funding? And by the way, I already told them that you got like two consecutive funding, and they have like two different structures. One was able to you were able to undertake one while still in Nigeria, where you came from, and now you're taking the other one. So could you just clarify that, where you got the funding and then the structure of the funding you got?
Okay, thank you. Actually, both funding opportunities are from the same department in the same university, and then the both fundings are also supervised by the same lecturer. So I got the first funding opportunity on Urexis. Urexis is a job portal where you can have access to a lot of job opportunities, mostly in academia and industry.
Yeah, I think I know that site. I would put a link to that site below in case someone is curious about it. Yeah.
Yeah. So I attended a webinar which was organized by one of our scholars, Mr. Samuel Adile. That was where I got the insight about this particular link. And immediately after that webinar, I got to work and started searching for opportunities that relate to my area of interest. So when I found that opportunity for sustainable consumption and production, yeah, I applied for it because I checked through the requirements, and then I applied. After I applied for it, then although I was contacted to be informed that I did not meet the requirement, because according to the recruiter, that was the professor, they required someone who had a master's degree and was going to pursue a PhD degree. Unfortunately, that information was not clearly stated in Rexis, as I remember.
I see. Okay.
So when he when he told me that, he also mentioned in this email to me that he went through my supporting documents and found out that I have strong quantitative skills, and then he
Okay.
was impressed by that, and he was also impressed by my interest in environmental issues. So he was going to encourage me to try to pursue a master's degree, and then maybe in the future, if there are any other openings, I can apply to that.
Oh,
And
that's a
then,
good one. Yeah, go ahead, please.
yeah. And then, while it was also in that same email, he sent me a link to try to apply for a master's department at a university.
Okay.
So,
For a master's degree at that university. Okay. Okay.
yes, a master's degree at a university. So, he was suggesting for me to do a master's, give me a better opportunity for that. So he just suggested that I do a master's in that department. I should check it out if I really liked it, and then I give it a try.
Okay.
So I was taken aback briefly
Why was
because
that the case? What
I
did
was
you
I wasn't expecting that kind of it appeared to be a rejection in a way. So
Okay.
yeah, so that feeling of, oh, okay, I didn't get this.
Okay.
But then I looked at it and I said, well, he has some interest in me. He has already qualified me as having quality skills, and he has picked interest in my environmental enthusiasm.
Okay.
So I checked out the link for the master's course. So after checking it out, I figured out that it's tuition free, so I don't have to pay tuition.
Yeah, I think
But
Norwegian universities generally are tuition free. It's just the living cost that is often a problem. Yeah, go
yeah,
ahead, please.
actually, so I was very excited about that. Then I kept checking about the requirements, and I was hit by something really big. That's the requirement for you to have a particular amount of money which will cover for your cost of living. I think it was around naira now, around 5.9 million naira, which
That's a
you need
lot
to
of
have.
money.
Yeah, you need to declare in an account in Nigeria, and then when you're given admission, you have to transfer all of that money to a student account in the
Okay, so what
university.
did you do about the financial? Did you contact the professor in charge?
Yes, I contacted the professor and told him that I have interest in the master's course, but I am having issues with the funding to cover for the living expenses, and I was surprised by because
You
he
were
told
surprised
me
by what? You cut out a
by the
little bit.
reply.
Okay,
I
okay.
was surprised by the reply, but he replied my mail surprisingly. I wasn't expecting a reply. He replied my mail and told me that he has not done this before for a master's student, but that he is willing to give it a try to see if the university will approve. And
Hmm.
then that was basically how it all started.
Oh, that's good. That's good. So, what documents did you submit to the university? Did you write things like the GRE or the TOEFL, or apart from your transcript and the recommendation letters? I think those are the regular documents. What other ones did you submit?
Surprisingly, I didn't submit any of those documents. So I was not required to submit that or
Wait, you were not
so
required to submit a recommendation letter.
no, I
Oh,
don't
that's
remember.
it's probably the case because probably you have a professor in there already who is ready to accept you. So probably he vouched for you already, and there's no need to. Okay. What about the standardized tests such as GR or English requirements?
No, I was not required to present any of those because I already had this letter of English proficiency from my home university.
Okay, okay, okay. That's good. So now you had two funding. One was while you were still in Nigeria. I think you worked like a research consultant while in Nigeria for 3 months, and that was quite generous of them. So to enable you to like get enough fund to sponsor your travel cost, and now you're moving to undertake the main contract, so to say. And I want to ask, is this a GTA position, a graduate assistantship position?
Actually, it's a research assistantship position.
GRA, yeah, graduate research assistant. Okay, okay, that's fine. So it means you'll be doing some kind of research for them apart from your studies, doing some kind of research for them in the department, and that's where you get your stipend from and everything. Oh, that's fine. So how was the visa process? How stressful, less stressful was it? Why applying to Norway?
Well, generally, the visa application process for Norway is straightforward, but because of the COVID-19 and also this summer holiday, in Norway here we have what you call the potato vacation. So the whole month of July, all the workers, students are on
Okay.
vacation. They
Oh,
don't
oh,
work.
oh, that's nice. The potato holiday. That's nice. I need one of those.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, it was quite delayed in a way, but
Yeah.
generally it was straightforward. All you need to do is go through the immigration website as UDI. The immigration website, you have to apply online, fill an application form online, and then after doing that, you go with your supporting documents. The documents are outlined in the checklist, so it makes it easier for you not to forget what documents
Okay.
you need.
Do
So
you
you
have an
have a
idea
check.
how much you paid for the visa fee? Although we know that your earlier contract like covered the visa cost, but for those who just want like an estimate of what they have to pay for the
Okay.
visa, yeah.
Actually, since I didn't pay it in
Just
naira, so
okay,
I
okay.
don't remember, but I know the krona amount.
Yeah, krona is
As
the currency used in Norway.
yeah,
Yeah, okay. What's the krona amount? We can do the conversion later.
okay, 4,900.
Okay, okay, that's fine. That's fine. So that's visa. So let's go to your general advice to those seeking scholarships, especially regarding rejection. I know you had couple of rejection. And by the way, a number of people do not know probably that we've come a long way. So I know like your scholarship journey, how far you've come. Probably you also know mine because you were the one who was part of those reading my essays. So I didn't have like a
Yes.
mentor. You know, these days people run about to look for mentors to help them read essays. You were in undergrad and I was giving you my essays to read for me, and I got the scholarships. Although a number of rejections as well. So what is your advice for those looking for scholarships? What's your general survival tip for looking for scholarships?
Well, I can sum it up in 3 words,
Okay.
and I got these 3 words from one group. She's it was created by a scholar also, Ajayi Olayinka.
Oh, I know
So,
Ajayi is my next door neighbor here, so don't
oh,
mention his name as if he's a stranger. We are both at
so yeah.
Warwick, remember?
Oh, good. So, the scholarship journey is just simply summed up as yes, you can. Yes, you can.
I trust
You don't
Ajayi.
have to count the number of rejections you have. You don't have to give up. You just have to keep trying to improve on your earlier or your previous applications. That's basically what I advise other
People to
scholars.
do. Okay, so usually I throw what they call them general questions or even controversial questions. My bulb is flickering. They didn't take the lights. I know those in Nigeria be like,
Are
oh,
you
they
sure
still
they
have
didn't take
lights.
light?
No, no, my bulb is a little bit faulty. So
Okay.
usually I tell people to give like general observations about issues still surrounding scholarships, but a little bit away from their own personal experiences.
Mm.
So do you remember the reason I told you for opening this or for starting this YouTube channel? Do you remember one of the reasons I told you for
Oh yes,
starting this YouTube
I
channel?
remember. I
Could
do
you say
remember.
that in a sentence or two, and then we'll go to something a little bit bigger than that?
Well, because you started this scholarship platform, this YouTube channel, because earlier on, like 2 years ago, there was someone asked for me to pay some money to get scholarship tips and get some review mentorship and all. So I was asked to pay some money to get some scholarship tips and then for my applications to be
And did you pay?
no, I did not.
Why did you not pay?
Well, coupled with the advice I got from people, mentors like you and Ajayi, I didn't pay, and also because I felt it was going to be exploiting. Since I mean, I had the time on my hand. If I could make out time to check these things online. They are available online, and then if I needed anyone to, I could meet people who could do it for me for free, even though I have to give them at their own time. So I have
Okay.
to do it earlier, send it earlier on for the deadlines so they can have some time to.
Yeah. So I think I shared your story some weeks ago about you were one of the inspirations. So I did the first video on my channel and I was like, probably this is the only video I would do because I got lots of questions about that scholarship to be specific. So if you check this channel, that is like the first video I did. So after that, I was thinking, oh, probably I'll just skip that day. And I didn't have this idea of actually building a YouTube channel until I saw your name online among those who they'll call, would I call them debtors or those who don't have money to pay. So this person published your name among those who cannot pay for a particular scholarship workshop and was using these names to like canvas for sponsors that was sponsored. And I think there are about 40, 50 people on the list. And I was like, is that not Chris's name? Is he even aware that his name is out here? And people are even
I
saying
didn't even know
to,
my name was there.
yeah, it was for me, that was a major turning point for me. And I was like, what is the point? What is this high bar about scholarship? Yet it's difficult, but it is not rocket science. It's something that is doable if you put your mind to it, if you follow leads and tips. And that is how I continued my YouTube channel. So yeah, like one of the major inspirations, one of the brains, well, yeah, the intentions or the brainchild behind the channel. So do you have a problem with paying for tips, scholarship tips or reviews or things? Like, do you have a problem with that? I know for you, I think probably I'll just give you like maybe something 500 to buy like a bottle of water if I think I'm stressing you too much. That one, you not call that one payment. Or sometimes I don't even talk about payment. So yeah, but what do you talk about? These people asking for money. Some people even charge in dollars. I've seen people charging in dollars. That's charging those from developing countries in dollars. And by the way, we have lots of people coming from watching this video from India, Nigeria, I think from also the Latin America. So majority of people here are people coming from the global south, and dollars is like a big amount of money. People charge in dollars, not even in the local currency. So what issue do you have with this?
Well, I don't know the motivation behind monetizing such tips, but personally, I I don't think that's a very very good venture. I mean, you could start up a mentorship school. We start up a like you have done a YouTube channel where people can go there, go to those schools, learn how to write these applications or watch these things online. But having to having to review these documents for a price, I mean, if you don't want to review them, you can either tell them, okay, do it this way, try it this way, check out this link and all that. Let them do it themselves because basically graduate school is a lot of work, even for them. So when they get into graduate school, they won't have to be spoon fed at that. And if you begin to give them that idea that graduate school is just like normal undergraduate school, that you can help get someone to help you to run it, help you
Yeah,
to
yeah, yeah.
so that idea to me, I think that's the morality behind that person's future eventually is
Yeah, I
why I
think so as well. But that is also my approach in this channel. I do not spoon feed people. So I showed them like a very informative signpost. We'll show you where to go, but will not travel with you. So I've even
exactly
stopped reviewing essays as I feel there are several things already out there that people are not utilizing enough. And these processes of compiling your documents, they build you up for the eventual challenge in graduate
Exactly.
school. So imagine someone that cannot write a flowing sentence or doesn't have a sense of paragraph. This person writes a statement, gives it to the Scholarship Academy. They help him baptize it. He submits it, gets into the program. Then he's given an essay to write and is not able to write it. And they're
Exactly.
like, how did you get it in the first place? Questions like that. So I want to maintain this academic prestige, that there's a high bar for academia and you have to strive towards it. And personally, when I used to edit essays, usually I do not rewrite essays for people. Rather, I give you suggestions. I'll tell you this sentence is too long, break it down into two. Or this word you use there is not very appropriate. Or I'll give them suggestions of additional points they could add. So I throw the work back to the scholar, not writing something for somebody. I think it's not even not sustainable in the first place. That reminds me, there's another point I want to make concerning this. Do you know the meaning of RCT? It's a
What?
technical RCT. Is a technical term used in, I think, yeah, particle sciences and sometimes social sciences as well. There's an
No.
inside joke that I shared with Ajayi on RCT just last week. So it's called randomized control trial. You must have heard of it. It's what they use in these vaccine trials, for instance. So you have two groups of people, two similar groups of people. So one group will be given the vaccine, and one group will be given normal, probably vitamin C or something. And at the end of the day, you test, probably after 2-3 months, you test whether the vaccine had any effect or not by comparing both groups. So I call this YouTube channel, for instance, like a natural experiment of an RCT. So we have those who will just give pointers and we don't really micromanage them. And there are also those who go and get professional advice. And I think when you check the results we get, we're actually outperforming a number of these so-called academies. For instance, when I was talking to you initially, when we were trying to set up this meeting, I got a call from somebody, actually a text from somebody on Twitter, that just got nominated for the Commonwealth Scholarship, him and his friend actually. And both of them now make the 33rd person in this YouTube channel getting the Commonwealth Scholarship. And remember, the spots are just 150, 160. And this channel is getting 33. And I didn't read any essays. There's no micromanager. I just showed them, okay, if I were to write this essay, this is how I will write it. So adapt it into your own processes. So I feel at the end of the day, our control group, what I call this YouTube channel, is the control group, is outperforming the treatment group. It just shows that if you put your mind to it, use resources available, I think you will get the scholarship. No shade to scholarship academies anyway, but they need to do better since it's a paid service. I'm not expecting to get like 70, 80 fully funded scholarship in a YouTube channel that is free. And a scholarship academy doesn't get up to 40 or 50. So what are they paying for in the first place? It's not a good value for money. So do you have any other general tips you want to tell us before we go? Is there anything we've not covered or anything you want to speak about before we go?
I think one thing is to, most times people see opportunities and then they just jump at it without actually personalizing these opportunities and seeing how their own career path is in line with those opportunities. All in the name of I just want to jackpot from Nigeria.
I just want to leave the country, and yeah, that's true, and that might contribute to the high rate of rejections as well. It's probably the case that they are applying for scholarships not suited for them. For instance, let me give you a quick example. Dad said to apply for not all dads, but some dad scholarships. That's the DAAD in Germany. Says you must have about 2 years work experience. A number of people will just ignore this thing and say, I want to go to Germany. They just left school and immediately they're applying. And they get a rejection letter and they're feeling bad. And I'll ask, did you have that 2 years compulsory?
They're piling up number of rejections. So
yeah, do you have that compulsory 2 years work experience? That's that. Even Chevron as well requires work experience. And I noticed that Chevron often prioritizes post-study work experience. So a number of people will tell you work they did in school. I was chairman of this student group and chairman of that student group. But Chevron will always prioritize those that worked after school. And I often tell people this, but they don't know this. And when they see a rejection, they get upset that, oh, what did I do wrong? And things like that. So I think that's a good advice. Look for a scholarship that suits the particular qualification you have. Any other thing before we go? Rejection. How did you do with your love letters, as they call them?
Well, funny enough, when I see people write about their testimonies and all, I see them, they are able to count the number of rejections they have. For me, I wasn't counting, so I
It's
just took
quite
it like,
simple, actually. Just type on your Google Mail, I regret or regrets. You see the number.
yeah, but sometimes they don't even send you a mail. That's what I'm
Yeah, that's another funny one. And that one is brutal. I think Commonwealth did that this year. Universities were good enough to tell people on time that sorry we didn't get it. And I think that's polite. After putting all the effort to just blank people out as if they didn't even apply in the first place. It's a little bit rude if you ask me. Yeah. But so how did you cope before we go?
For me, rejections were, I didn't really take them personally because I'd heard many people have testimonies and all. So I believed, well, okay, this didn't work out. Okay, fine. We should
Probably your first
try
class
another
gave you confidence. Is that true?
So it didn't really give confidence. It made you even feel worse because, well,
That is true.
does that mean this first class it was just a cliche? It was just, you have to
Well,
prove
yeah.
that it's
Yeah, I
worth it.
understand that point as well. As also a first class student, it also took me 2 years before I got my first scholarship. But mine was a little bit complicated because I was changing fields. And I was like, these rejections I'm getting, is it a testament to my incompetence? Or is it that, I don't know,
Exactly. That's
is it that I stole this my results or something? So when I finally got my first scholarship, I was like, okay, this is a testament that my first class wasn't a waste. I actually got it. Because like, you probably start questioning yourself. Just to clarify, you don't have to get a first class to get scholarships. I've seen people with 2-1 and 2-2 and even I have not seen a third class before, but I've heard stories about a third class. But I've seen 2-2 and 2-1. So in case a number of people are watching and thinking, oh, I don't have a first class, can I get a scholarship? It's very possible. I think often the baseline is often 2-1, but for some scholarships they even go down to 2-2 as well. For some
yeah.
scholarships as well. So do not feel if you are somebody viewing this thing and say, oh, they're just first class students, I'm not there. That's not true. That's not true. And if you have work experience, for me, I think work experience is often the edge that people have over others, even if you have like an average result. So if you've worked, you've acquired a particular skill, and somebody fresh from school hasn't acquired that skill, and the person has the first class, I think I'll give it to the person with the work experience because like he has hands-on practical things that I need for particular that particular GTA position or for that particular course. But for the first class, well, it's still green. I don't know. I know. So it's always good to have like, even if it's a volunteer experience, work experience, always an addition to
Yeah, and
profile.
volunteering actually pays a lot. Volunteering pays a whole lot.
Yeah,
Because
that
it shows
reminds me.
that
That reminds me.
this university is giving to you, you have to also show that you can give to others.
Yeah, that's true. That reminds me. Volunteering also helped you move a little in your field of interest. Am I correct?
Yes.
Since you studied mathematics and now you're doing something on ecology, although you still use some of the mathematical skills in the modeling and everything, but how did volunteering help you in the transition?
Well, in the past 2 years, I have volunteered for issues relating to the Sustainable Development Goals. So, as a member of the Young African Leadership Initiative Network, that's YALI, I've engaged in a number of volunteering activities, community service projects. I've also joined a number of environmental societies in doing some activities
Community
online,
work. Yeah.
virtually. Yeah,
I
exactly.
saw one marathon you were doing on LinkedIn some time ago. I've forgotten the name. It was like a
Yeah,
100-day
100
challenge. Yeah,
exercise.
yeah. I think I saw it. I was like, this guy, okay, you have time anyway. Yeah,
It
but
was a
that's good.
challenge, right? So
Yeah,
I took it upon myself.
I think a plain certificate is not just enough because others might be coming with the same qualification. So what will stand you out are the extra bits that you bring into the qualification or you bring into your profile that the other person is not bringing. That would give you the edge and make you more competitive. So I think we've talked enough today. And would you like me to share like your LinkedIn handle, your Twitter handle, in case that people want to get in contact with you? Of course, based on your own schedule. Somebody interested in your course, for instance, and wants to apply a similar field. Are you interested, or should I hide you safely from the from the crowd?
I, I don't mind. I don't mind you sharing.
Okay, so I'll put it in the description box below. So thanks for coming. Do not hang up. I just want to stop the recording and would continue chatting before I go for my dinner. I'm quite hungry already. Okay, thanks for coming. And to the people watching, thanks for listening. And okay, thanks guys for watching. Thanks Chris for coming by.